Abby, your point about taking risks and being fearless and going to where the customer is, I think is a really important lesson for anyone building products and services right now. So many risks were taken, which led to incredible innovation and also growth.
I was joking with our old CEO the other day about the current state of businesses and how businesses have to pivot on a dime given what's going on in the world. Every day there was some sort of like massive disruption or market change or competitive hurdle. We would be in a market and have to really quickly pull out. We would have opportunities where the market would grow because of some other, circumstance happening with somebody else pulling out or something going on at the airport, and you just sort of had to be like primed to seize those opportunities when you got them. Especially in crisis, it's like your instinct is to become less risk-taking, but it's actually even more important that you can make decisions quickly and take some risks to adapt. If we did not have that kind of leadership at Virgin in the early days, there's no way we would have made it. We were able to become profitable. It was pretty clear, I think, even to our competitors at that point, that people would pay more for an excellent in-flight experience.
Virgin America is the first and only to have fleet-wide internet service for every guest.
That is amazing!
It was pretty unheard of in the US, and just remember like the complexity of doing the moonlighting, the complexity of red, even the things like we're gonna have white massaging chairs in first class. I mean, no one would do that.
The combination of a lot of small details on board, cladding seating as being furniture, being very careful about materials, being very careful about color, careful about light. Those were all important aspects. And then of course there's a technology layer to that, which Charles Ogilvie spearheaded. There's sort of an overlap between design, technology and service in some of the things that we did on board that required coordination between the leaders of each of those areas. It wasn't possible to just phone someone up and buy the fully integrated entertainment system. We had to come up with solutions to deliver that, find the best people who could give us sort of component parts of various different systems and put them together ourselves and do the testing and, do the sort of hard legwork of developing these products because the industry wasn't ready to supply them. The industry has caught up, that people realize that there is a market for these things, and it's entities like Virgin trailblazing that enables or sort of accelerates the adoption of these things by the supplying industry to make it accessible for everyone. It's kind of a positive thing about the risks that Virgin America took at the beginning. It wasn't actually just Virgin America customers that benefited from that. Everything defaults to the path of least resistance, basically, to the lowest executive risk that you can take. That's why the industry is the way that it is. It does require leadership to believe full-heartedly that they must do something different to survive, to win the right to exist. And I think we did have that at all levels of leadership. There's a very high degree of risk adversity, and you need leadership to break through that so that you can do the hard work to make these sorts of things happen. And we did have that. Without that, you would have had no chance.
That's a really good point around the innovation enabling you to become a leader in the space and to be a consumer champion. The safety video, I think, is a perfect example of that. This Virgin America safety video led to a lot of different copycat efforts.
Sort of came from a pragmatic need, which was essentially we had to start closed captioning. It was like, why can't we create a video that sort of brings to life the Virgin brand, but it's also really informative and keeps people engaged so that they're actually intaking the safety information. It definitely was a risk. I remember pitching it to our CEO, David Cush, and he was just like, repeat that? What? Doing a whole safety video to music and dance? To his credit and like the credit of our head of flight operations and chief pilot, all of those people were really sort of like laughed, but then were like game. They were like, okay, try and figure it out with the FAA. I think working with like the regulators on the FAA side who were like actually on the set of filming, we really sort of had to take everybody along in the process.
Something that Richard often spoke about is the importance of being a customer advocate. And once you take on that position, you do have to take a lot of risks and it becomes normalized. When I think about Dallas Love Field, Virgin being the David to the Goliath, doing things that we feel is the right thing to do and getting customers excited and joining us in the movement.
At that point, it was one of the highest ticket priced airports in the country because it had a complete monopoly. People are defending their monopolies and they will pull whatever lever they can, which is often political levers to shut out competitors. So we essentially went public with the campaign with our customers. We landed a plane at, again, the private aviation facility at Dallas Love Field, launched ticket sales preemptively to make the point that like this is what fares would be in Dallas Love Field if we were here. Obvious if you're in the industry, but not obvious to consumers. Took it to national media to really make the case that these anti-competitive forces are one of the big reasons why people have shitty flight experiences and are paying really, really high fares, which was a battle that we had fought in many other cities. Richard Branson filmed a really funny tongue-in-cheek video, love letter to the city of Dallas. We released that video on the day of one of the city council hearings. AP reporters and everyone was there, and I could hear people laughing, looking at their phones during this hearing when we released the video.
Your sweetheart, Richie.
We did a change.org petition where we got 28,000 signatures in a couple of weeks of people sort of petitioning the Dallas City Council. We hosted a free left field rally, which was in Virgin fashion, of course, a party/concert that Richard came to. We had our flight attendants out on iPads signing people up for the petition. Just sort of were booking wall-to-wall press to keep people's focus on it. We thought we could put enough pressure on them to win. It was just too embarrassing for them not to let us have the gates after 3 weeks, and so we got it.